Hey everybody, Deborah Corn back here with Eric Holdo at Konica Minolta, my apologies.
Yeah, you got it.
I got so excited I couldn't say it. At CPP, which is downstairs from Sign Expo here in Las Vegas. Okay, so this is kind of what I've been waiting to speak with you about, and we actually did have to wait because there was quite a few people here, but luckily you're in charge, so you asked them to move away nicely. It was fun.
You know,
hey,
for the greater good.
You're handy, let me tell you to have. Next time I'm trying to get a Starbucks upstairs, I'm going to be like, Eric, get everyone out of my way.
There you go.
Okay, Da Vinci Designer Packaging, Konica Minolta, discuss.
Yeah. So this is a system that allows me to proof something out to my client. Okay, so what I've got here is a packaging example. This is a typical, like a business card box.
And don't think I'm rude. I'm going to focus on the screen and let you use you as a voiceover.
Yeah, this is prettier anyway than me. Okay, so here we go. So what I've got is basically the layout with all the cuts, and you can see the folds through here.
Correct.
As I go through. Now, the important thing behind the folds is if I'm creating a UV spot layer here, it's actually in that layer. It's going to produce for me throttled down or feathered down UV at all those folds and all the cuts. So I'm not cutting through UV, I'm not folding on UV, and I don't get the cracking issue, okay? So I can look at my preview here, and I got a three-dimensional preview. Now this preview, the important thing to understand is I can send this just as a URL, as a link to my client. And then my client can look at it and say, yeah, that's what I want it to look like, you know, go ahead and produce it. Well, here's the thing. It's not just enough to see the package like this. I actually need to see it fold.
Right.
So the system is going to fold and show me exactly where everything's going to lay down as it does that fold. And this is accurate. This isn't just an estimation. This is accurate to where that fold's going to be, which is so cool.
It is really cool.
Now,
I mean, imagine if like a customer saw their work doing this, they'd be like, what is this?
Yeah, exactly. And now in 3 dimensions, right, I can rotate this around, I can look to see where the little holes are, I'll see all that. I've got the logo on the end, and that brings me to some of the design elements. I mean, if I'm designing packaging, it's a pretty big deal, but this lets us design it and design the finishing around it and the effects around it in a totally different way. Let's say, for example, I'm just going to add an image here, and this is my favorite image. It's a little lizard. And there's our lizard, and we're going to line him up here so he's got a smile on his face and all that good stuff. Okay, so my lizard's there, and something interesting about the lizard is this kind of this texture that he's got to him, right? And that texture is just in the picture, right? And if I just expand this here, you know, it's just part of the picture, which is great. But what I want to do is I want to add a spot varnish to this. Now, if I was to want to create a mask or a layer here, I'd have to use InDesign or Photoshop or something like that and actually grayscale or create a grayscale of this. Let me show you how we do it. I'm going to go select the lizard layer, select an effect.
The lizard layer.
The lizard layer. And I'm going to tell it to just texture. And when I tell it to texture, I can actually pull up the image and say, I want to use edge detection or grayscale. I mean, 2 options, really not difficult, not a whole bunch of stuff you have to worry about. So I'm going to take the filter, I'm going to apply that, and now I've got my CMYK and I've got my texturing and I want to preview it. Let's put this, expand it. And you can see, as I rotate this, you can now see that spot UV has depth and dimensionality to it, right? So really simple way to proof it. I can proof foil, I can proof toner on top of foil. I can do 2-dimensional pieces as well. I can do 3-dimensional pieces. I can show how a trifold looks in space. And those are all things that I can just send to my client in a URL, and then he's got the ability to say, yeah, this is exactly what I want. I can rotate it around, and it's perfect.
Yeah. So the video's a little hard to film a video screen. So how can, I'm assuming you offer demos of this, not just at trade shows, but maybe online and stuff like that?
Absolutely, and I'm usually the guy that's going to do the demo for you on a webinar.
Okay.
So we can do a webinar. There's also a site that we can direct you to, but I'd rather actually the person reach out to me.
Okay.
And we'll be happy to do a demo for them of it. It's applicable across the board, so just reach out to me, and I think you're going to post some of the information.
Yeah.
But I'm also on Twitter at Eric Holdo, ERIKHOLDO. Or on LinkedIn at Eric Holdo, or even Facebook.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. It's been great getting to know you these past couple of days. Really appreciate it. Reshape Specialty Print, everybody. See you guys later.